The irony of ironies would be if OpenAI sucks up all the non-monetizable queries from Google. It's like they're actually secretly promoting OpenAI, being like, you should definitely use OpenAI to like ask about your bunion, right? Because that's like is melting our servers and we don't want that query.
Well, hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode of More or Less. This is Brit Morin, your moderator this week, because Jessica Lessin has more important things to do. You know, she's so busy, that girl. The Morins are back in the Bay. Coldest summer in San Francisco since 1982, everyone. Dave, how are you feeling about that?
What am I doing here? I've never been so annoyed.
You ready to leave again? Go work remotely somewhere else?
Let's go somewhere else.
Come east and hang out with us.
Yeah, Sam looks like he has a sunburn.
We got the Boston Whaler. We can play some tennis, eat some ice cream. That's what we do here.
These sounds like what I want to be doing.
We might have to do it, Sam.
It is so foggy. It's crazy.
I have my Starlink Mini with me, and I absolutely intend to do the next More or Less from the Boston Whaler. Just like, I just want to like be in the middle of the bay. I think it'd be great, you know?
I like it. Maybe we'll join you in the Boston Whaler. We could do like a live sesh.
It turns out if you go on Amazon, there are all these like aftermarket attachments for Starlink Minis. So I have like one that like fits on your boat, which is like meant for yachts, but I'm going to put it on my like tiny Boston Whaler, you know?
I think it's great.
The most venture capitalist move of all time.
It's the Boston Whaler is the Miata of the sea. And so it's like same. It's like this. It's like I don't know. It's a great boat.
I
you
love
and
it.
Your Miatas. I was actually just reading your screenshot essay, Sam, about having fun and how like maybe we're all overthinking this stuff in venture capital and startup land, and really life is just about having fun. And it seems like doing a podcast on your Boston Whaler would be fun. So maybe you should say yes.
For what it's worth, this came from a few things that have been going on in my head. One is I literally had this conversation with other early stage VCs yesterday. We're having like the worst fucking conversation of like, well, what do you like now? And like, what do you like? And what strategy points? And actually, Aiden says at one point, he was like, do you think your like younger self that did a bunch of good deals, weren't you just like doing fun stuff, or were you talking about?
We were hanging out in New York at the Ace Hotel having fun.
And like the clear answer was we were just having fun with like great people. And they're like, that's a good point. And then I was reading Barry Diller's book, and you have like his vignettes of like Rupert Murdoch running around doing ridiculous deals, and they're clearly just having fun, right? And like you kind of like start looking across the world, and you're like, actually, I just think everyone's too depressed and not having enough fun. And the question is like, I like even AI, it's funny because like there are parts of it that are quite fun, right? Like programming is quite fun on some of these. Like there's things that are fun, but then you're like, these AI wars, like this is not fun, right? Like
Totally.
This is just like shitty, and like these overpriced rounds of like everyone's hustling. It's like none of this is fun. So like I just think, I don't know, maybe it's just a summer thought, but I am thinking really hard about how to think about the next year, especially going into the fall, of like where to spend time and like and I don't know, my end of July thought is like, maybe I just need to spend the year just not caring about very much other than having what I call like authentic fun, right? Like there are things that I think are like inauthentic fun. Like it's now easy to make a demo video that's hilarious of a product that you're never going to fucking ship and like is never going to make money. Like that's not actually fun. That's just silly, right? And like, so I think there's like to be careful about like what authentic fun is, like, and who's an authentically fun founder and what's an authentically fun team and like what's an authentically fun financing. But like, I don't know, I might just change my memos to be like, is this fun?
So like you're saying vibe coding is inauthentically fun?
No, I think actually building shit. Like,
no, vibe coding is authentically fun.
So
for sure.
like, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, it's fun, like in terms of there's like things to explore. So I was on the Instagram Reels the other day, and I somehow ended up in this part of Instagram Reels, which is all like hacks on AI. Have you guys ended up in this part of the Reels?
Which kind of hacks on AI?
I don't use Instagram, so I wouldn't know.
Well, so I found this thing that was like giving these pointers, and I actually watched them. It's like kind of marketing slop, but like on how to like use DALL-E better. And what it made is this point, which is like, okay, here's what you do. You take your photo that you like, you drop it in the ChatGPT and say, hey, give me a JSON like expression, like a JSON object, basically, that describes this entire scene, right? And it will give you like all the structured fields then, like background, this way, man, mustache. But it like basically does all of like in a structured way, like everything in the photo. And then once you have that, you can pass it back in and change variables, and it will like basically do exactly what you want, which is kind of sweet, right? It's like a little hacky thing. So it's like, you know what I'm gonna do in terms of what's fun? I basically was like, I have like a database set up with like everyone's Twitter profiles and like their image URLs. I'm like, I'm just gonna take everyone's Twitter profiles, pull them all down, express them all as JSON, and then like I can stick people into like scenes. Right. And like just like the actual
it's like cup of soup, but or can of soup or whatever that app is, but with your whole Twitter.
Well, I was kind of like I can take you guys, right? I'm actually thinking of doing this. I haven't finished this, but I was messing with it.
What are you gonna put me in, Sam?
I do hope that you do this with us.
I'm gonna do it with everyone. I'm gonna basically blast my entire CRM and like you like just send everyone my next, maybe not this one because I have to finish it, but like my next like newsletter is gonna be fully customized with images of you doing hilarious things. Like, it's just like, that's just fun. And like, there are marketing applications and we can play with it. Like, there's so many fun things to fuck around with like these new capabilities effectively. Yeah. That's fun. But like, I don't know. There's a lot of unfun stuff.
I got sent a book from Reid Hoffman about AI this week. Well, might have been a few weeks ago because I got back into town, and everything was customized to me in the book. There's a foreword for me. I was on the book jacket. It had like a whole section of photos of me in the book using like AI prompt engineering. And you would think like it would be sort of hallucinating because I'm sure he did this for like hundreds of people. But actually, like it kind of
thousands of people.
Thousands of people. I'm sure a lot of our listeners also got this book from Reid, but I was actually impressed by the accuracy. Like he definitely had like a top editor then have to probably go through it because it got a lot of my bio in the really right ways, which a lot of people don't just because of the extent of a bio of like 20 years.
This is a book about you?
It was about AI, but it had a foreword for me and like photos of me and like my resume, my bio.
Have you read any of the book, Brit, or did you just look at the photos?
I scanned it, but the book itself was about stuff I already know. Like, why is AI going to be the next thing? Blah, blah, blah. So fine. And I didn't need to read that part of it. I was just impressed by the way that he customized all these books to probably thousands of people.
There is something kind of funny about, in the age of AI, someone sending a book about AI, because you're like, no one wants to consume that, right? Like, that's just like, it's like you could give.
Although on this front, I saw this idea on Twitter the other day that somebody wanted to take all of the weights from GPT-1 and print them in books and then have them as their Zoom background in the books behind them. And I kind of liked that version of that idea.
Sure. I mean, that's like at Harvard Square in the Charles Hotel, they replaced all the books with pieces of wood. Which I thought was like pretty hilarious. I'm like, I get it. It looks pretty, but like you replaced your library with pieces of wood for art at Harvard?
Yeah.
Well, it just back to your point of like stripping out profile photos of people and like hacking them into others. I just think like we are all going to get remixed into so many things.
The Sam Lessin JSON voodoo machine.
So here's the thing you guys I think are going to like, which I've been fucking with in terms of like what's fun to play with, is, I have Sam GPT that I've built out, which is like on all my writing. And I actually now have built out and did like a bunch of passes and built like a pretty awesome next generation like CRM with like bios and structured data and like all the things I'd ever want for like 50,000 people I've ever interacted with. So here's what I'm doing. This will be done by the end of the week, is I really want people to fix it for me. Cause like, it's like hilariously, it got like this one venture capitalist and he's like convinced it's the like rapper Wiz Khalifa, which I think is hilarious. Right. But like, I need the humans to fix it. So in the traditional Sam strategy of like, give people the wrong thing so they fix it and make it the right thing, in Sam GPT, there's now a settings page, which has, when you log in, everything that the system thinks it knows about you. And I'm just going to send everyone out like what the system thinks it knows about you to get everyone to correct it and make it better.
So you're building your own, like a custom social graph then?
Yeah, isn't that just Facebook? It's like, here's your profile that we think we know about you.
Correct your profile so that I have all the right data about you and 50,000 people.
You know what the thing is about the internet? This is one of the most important rules of the internet, which I know you both know, is people love correcting you. It's like people's favorite thing in the history of the world is like to correct someone. And so like, it doesn't matter the format. If you can create any opportunity to get value from being corrected, it's like a total win, right? And so for me, I'm just about to like bomb everyone I know with tons of inaccuracies about themselves so that they'll fix it.
It's a good point. Brit mostly spends her time correcting me when we're hanging out in person.
As do most wives with their husbands, Dave.
But the thing is like, I feel like the problem is with wives is like, they only get like so many opportunities to correct per day. And so the internet is just a big machine.
I mean, if you actually send me Dave's profile, Sam, I will correct the shit out of that.
Just send all of the stuff to the wives. You don't need to send it to anybody else.
Yeah. I think there's just like, there's a whole, in terms of joy, I think there's a lot of joy in somehow leveraging all of this need to correct other people into something productive, you know? Like even ChatGPT, like it's like all these AI systems are coming up and like you have all these like, you know, even like whatever, Scale AI, whatever, they're like desperately, they're trying to figure out how to like get more powerful knowledge from people into these systems, right? And like there's all these like strategies for it and like, you know, you like captchas or whatever the fuck, right? I actually think the best strategy is to just tell people wrong things so that they feel the need to correct you, right? So like there's a whole neural path where like people will spend infinite attention on that very happily, right? If there's just an opportunity to correct.
Yeah. I think especially when it's related to them or their husband. And speaking of, so to get into a little bit of the news and try to do Justin's job here, I was reading the information over the last few days. Well, first of all, the Tesla diners and drive-ins, how do we feel about this? Because it happened alongside the same time that Tesla did their earnings report with a 12% decline in quarterly revenues. And Elon Musk opening up the call with a penis joke. I'm like, what is happening?
Penis jokes are all the rage in all of culture right now, right? Like, isn't the president also defending his penis size on Twitter right now?
He did? I didn't see that.
You know, I hadn't picked up on that, but I saw some stuff that was penis relevant. And so now that makes more sense.
Yeah, it's because the president is, it's because, you guys, we're going pop culture corner straight out the gate. South Park did a like whole bit and joke on the president's penis size. And so now the president has, you know, gone to, I guess, Truth Social to defend the you know, size of his presidential penis in order to, you know, defend his honor.
Oh, gosh.
That's what's going on.
And now Elon too. So everyone's just making penis jokes now that are like running the world. Cool.
It's the internet.
It's the world too.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But what I thought was really interesting was also in this Tesla earnings call, Elon said he predicted that the Tesla robotaxis would be available to half of the US by the end of the year, subject to regulatory approvals.
By the end of this year?
Yeah.
What?
Subject to regulatory approval.
Yeah, so there's you forgot the most important line, which is you're not going to have regulatory approval. Like, the thing that's kind of wild to me, though, in all this stuff is like it's somehow still like trading as $1 trillion company. It's ridiculous, right? The whole thing, right? And like it's transparently ridiculous. And yet it's like last time it was the robots, now it's diners. They're cute. Well, yeah, sure. Who doesn't like a 50s diner? But like whatever. To market it. It's a tiny marketing stunt moving $1 trillion company.
Well, you could argue that it's an improvement to the user experience. Going to the superchargers has always been kind of an I know, Sam, you don't drive a Tesla. But no. Going to the superchargers has always been kind of an awkward experience. Everyone's just kind of sitting in their cars looking at each other, and there's like a Chipotle across the road. So putting the actual diner with the superchargers is not the weirdest idea.
It's not the weirdest idea. It's just like, what are we doing? Like, it's like really like this is like the small marketing stunt.
Well, he is integrating the humanoid robot
marketing stunt
with the cars.
And have no usable hands. I mean, come on. This whole thing is like it's like
just make the cars better, man.
Look, I'm a huge believer in like audacity, and like I like the audacity and like setting big goals and the positive. Like, there's a lot I like. I just at a certain point, like a lot of this stuff just feels so cynical to me. Like when Elon's like, we're going to Mars tomorrow, and you're like, you're not. You know you're not. You're smarter than that. It like just feels literally cynical to me. And like I feel like this is just, it feels cynical, not positive. And like that's sad because I think there is a lot to be excited about. By the way, Britt, in terms of going to Mars, how are you feeling about your bet, given that these things keep blowing up? You want to pay me half now to get out of it?
We've got 15 years to go. I think I will stay muted for 12 months, and we should touch base again in late 2026.
Sure.
Yeah. I think there are a lot of space tech companies that are doing really interesting things.
Tesla's that would be quite, if I lose this bet because someone other than Elon gets to Mars, I will pay you the $1 million happily.
I mean, super intelligence is coming the next 5 to 7 years. Space, you're going to be on Mars in 15. I think all these timelines add up, don't you?
Super intelligence will also be selling us burgers as it.
Okay. Meanwhile, the other big tech company that reported this week was Google. And for all of the flack that Google's been getting about OpenAI coming to eat their lunch and all the search queries dropping, its search revenue actually grew quarter over quarter. Google Cloud margins have doubled from 11% to 21%. And the stock is up 2% in after hours trading. The one thing that I thought was really crazy is the CapEx projections for this year. Google raised its estimate. It was going to be spending $10 billion, and now it's $85 billion, citing the need to meet customer demand for cloud services by increasing data center capacity. So what do we think about what's happening with Google? Is this growth sustainable? And is that the right amount to be spending on data centers? And we will get to Trump's AI action plan, by the way.
I mean, I just think like everyone's just going to spend a shitload of money and it doesn't matter. Like, it's like kind of my take on all this type of stuff. And like, that's the thing about having, I mean, it matters if you're an investor. It matters if you need to like raise capital. But like, if you make your own money and you just decide for a while to like spend a shitload of money on computers, it doesn't change your money making machine long term. And like, it's probably all a waste, but it's fine. Like, that's kind of my take on all this stuff. And like, that's why I think ultimately, like, the people like Google and Facebook do win, because like they have a money making machine that regenerates the money. And so the money is free for them. Whereas like, if you're OpenAI and you have to raise it, and by the way, the thing you're selling loses money, that's like a pretty challenging place to be, right?
Totally. And I just heard that OpenAI, I mean, I think this is public knowledge, but they're doing an extension from their $40 billion round. They're extending another $30 billion.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I think that's actually the story of the week. It's what we were talking about last week and what Sam just said, which is that both Google and Facebook / Meta have enormous businesses that kick off, I guess Google's kicking off 95 billion. That's the quantum of cash they're kicking off every quarter. Facebook's something, 65. This is like amazing amounts of capital that is low cost for them to go and reinvest in the AI thing. And meanwhile, OpenAI appears to be, for the first time, doing a quote extension. And all of us in seed investing land know what an extension means, right? And so I think it's an interesting moment where perhaps we're seeing the first reckoning begin of the business model wars here.
You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like just, you can think about it on a personal level, right? Which is like, let's pretend you have, I don't know, you've done well. You have $10 million, right? And you want to buy $1 million boat, right? Like, I don't know, or like anything. It's like, if you make $1 million, $2, $3 million a year, you don't care. The boat, it's like not a calculation that matters, right? But if you only have $10 million, right, and you have to like go borrow it, right, or like spend down what you have, that actually feels like a lot, right? And so I just think it's like, you can relate this at any quantum to like a personal economics feeling, right? And like, I don't know, like that's why it's like, if Facebook can like, it's probably wasting a shitload of money. But like, if the companies that can afford it just want to like buy a bunch of boats, like no one cares, right? Like they don't care, and it just doesn't matter. And I think that's a very hard place to compete,
Dan, would you put in another $1 billion into OpenAI right now if you're one of their investors?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't have put the $1 billion in the first place. So it's like kind of the wrong person to ask. Like, it's not like...
Yeah, it's like you never want to be in the round before the extension.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if someone, if would I have sold in the last round? Like, probably. Like, it doesn't mean the number won't go up. Like, the number might go up, right? It's a very challenging place when you're competing with people who have no cost of capital.
Dave, so you wouldn't have invested, I'm taking it as well.
In what?
OpenAI. Would you have put another $1 billion into this extension, this $30 billion extension?
No.
Because some of the biggest firms are doing it. I mean, Founders
They don't
Fund
care because they don't. First of all, it's a totally different
I guess
firm.
it depends on what firm am I running. You can't ask this in a vacuum.
Okay, how much capital do you need under management in order to feel comfortable putting?
$5 billion.
If you're already on the cap table with a ton of paper gains, like it's kind of like a free thing to invest anyway. And like, by the way, like your LPs don't care. Like they're already committed.
They're already psyched. Yeah.
And then it's like, if you're a capital raising firm that like your specialty is capital raising and like you think that you can deploy more capital, then like whatever. But like, it's not like I would never invest in something. I wouldn't invest in it any way you slice it for my fund or personally, because it doesn't fit my risk reward profile at all. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I think it's it seems like the data centers are obviously like a big crux of all of this. And this dovetails with the AI action plan that was featured this week. Over 90 federal policy initiatives around 3 pillars: accelerating AI innovation, building American AI infrastructure, and leading globally in AI. So it sounds like Trump will be, easing environmental rules so that more of these data centers can be permitted and built. He's going to expand hardware, software exports using the Commerce and State Department. And he is going to ban federal agencies from using AI systems with ideological or partisan bias. How do we feel about the AI action plan? This seems like this is net positive for tech. And obviously a lot of people are championing it, but any disagreement between the two of you?
What is it? Like, what?
Yeah, I haven't even paid attention.
What does it actually mean? I'm happy that people are like pro AI, I guess, but like, is there any meat on it?
It seems like there's no meat. It's just a bunch of talking about AI.
Well, it's going to make it easier to build data centers, right? So that seems like, but then all the environmentalists
have no
are like,
control over the local environment.
Well, he's actually saying like permits will be faster. He's banning states from actually getting into any AI regulations over the next decade. He's centralizing federal control over AI regulation. He has also signed executive orders to boost AI exports, block woke AI. I feel like this is a really difficult one for anything open source related. Like, how do you block woke AI and what does that even mean? And then slashing the permitting timelines for data center construction.
I guess this is the problem with all this kind of moment and all these politics things. Like, look, I'd rather have government pro AI than con AI, right? Like, that's good, right? Like, I'm happy they're pro crypto. Like, I think they should be.
Yeah, it's like David Sachs is doing a good job.
So, like, good. Like, those are like, it's like, I'm like happier with that than the opposite. But it's just like, I think everyone, and this is kind of the thing where Ramon is like, there's just been so many things that aren't things. And like, there's so much marketing of non-real things that is like, it's very hard to care, right? Is my honest thing, like on a bunch of this type of stuff. It's kind of the same. This is how it connects to like Elon Musk has a cafe. It's like that moves well online, but like, who cares? Like, it's just like it's just noise, right?
You think this is noise to what's happening in AI?
You know what it is? It feels like government slop.
The whole like, yeah, exactly. It's government slop. Like, they wake up every day and they're like, we're producing this reality TV show called, President Donald Trump. And they just come up with something like every single day. And like, this is just the thing of the day. It's like, Sam's right. It's really no different than putting You
don't think we would have needed to do this no matter what to centralized control?
We do need
federally?
to do this, but like, this is nothing. Like, it's not law. It's just talking.
Well, there are 3 executive orders signed.
But executive orders are just talking.
I don't know. The honest answer is like, again, I'm not against it. It seems good. Like, I'm not like, there are things they could come out with that I'd be like, wow, that's a bad executive order. It's like, fine. It's very hard to care. right? Until until you understand what the implications are and if they're real. Look, this is the big problem with, I think, our moment in history. And I feel it personally in a bunch of ways, right? Is like, there's just so much talking and everything without an understanding of what's real or authority or trust in a bunch of ways, that you're just like, this is kind of the implications of AI. Like, just don't know what's real anymore, right? And I think that's kind of, I don't know, it's the moment we're in. It's a scary one from that perspective, because like there isn't authority, there isn't trust in a bunch of this stuff. It's just like, oh yeah, we said something about tariffs again. Like, I have no idea how to process that.
Well, I think that's the moment. I mean, back to that, we're seeing both Meta and Google perform amazingly, on their earnings reports. And at the same time, we've got OpenAI having to do an extension of their round. Like, to me, it's like, you're right, Sam, everything is noise. Anytime one of these technology cycles gets really, really, really going, it causes this recursion loop of, everyone in the entire valley, and then sooner or later the entire country. And then, like, to Brit's point here, like at the White House level, everyone's talking about the thing, and it's like talking and talking and talking in these infinite recursion loops. And none of it is real, right? There's an underlying business reality that does exist. Like, do these businesses work? Do their business models work? And can that be written into the value of the economic cycle? And it looks like starting this week, we've got a little bit of sanity, a little crack in the edifice of what's going on.
Well, yeah, and like that's like God bless capitalism, and like, I guess God bless gap accounting, because like there is like, we still trust those things, right? Like at a fundamental level, like if Google is ripping and Facebook's ripping on this stuff, then like there's some truth that it works. It's just, there's like a lot of other places, the experimental budgets of B2B companies, where everyone's like, is this even real? Like from a productivity standpoint, like what's going on? Like all this other stuff, you're like, whatever. It's also like why I like the vibe coding, because like, oh yeah, this thing actually does a thing. That's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, for sure.
Okay, so we're feeling like we don't care about Trump's AI action plan.
It's fine. It's
fine. Of course America needs to lead, but it's like, not like it's, I don't know. It's just a bunch of talking.
In other news, speaking of the tech giants, Meta hired 2 key AI Apple researchers and experts over the last week. And I feel like Apple needs to make kind of a big move.
No, you just have to get a Pokemon from Apple too in order to win the game, right?
Oh, so they're just poaching from everyone so they can have their full set of Pokemon cards?
Like, you have to get Pokemon from all the Meg 7, otherwise you don't beat the final boss.
So who's next? Amazon? NVIDIA?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Mark's big power move here.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's totally fine. I feel like it's like an athletic thing as much as anything else, right? Which is like, people love competition and Mark loves competition. Just collect the Pokemon, right?
Get them all.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
One from everywhere.
The reality is, like, on a relative basis, they're cheap. Right. So whatever.
I don't know if they paid $100 million for these people, but
it just doesn't even, again, in the spirit of it, just doesn't matter. Like, if you're running a company that large, right? Like, whatever, like, just do it and like see what happens.
All right. Well, that's the latest in the Mag 7's fight for who's going to lead in AI. I'm still long Google. I think Apple still has a chance. I think they're going to make a big move in the next year and just be late to the game.
It's just not clear. I think the question is whether like Apple even cares. Like,
why wouldn't they care?
Well, I just think there's a different version of the world where, like, everyone's been all hyped up on AI. Where is Apple on AI? Whatever. It's like Apple has the shittiest experience with Siri in history, and it just doesn't seem to matter at all. Right, like from people still buy iPhones, right? And so I guess
people
the question
still use Siri.
And so the question in my mind is like, again, the 101 version is like, you're Tim Cook, you're freaking out. Everyone's like, AI is the next big thing. Who's your racehorse? Da, da, da. The 201 version would be like, you're gonna have to use my phones anyway, and like, I'm just gonna make better phones, and like, I'm just gonna like wait until you guys all have to retrench because you built a bunch of dark fiber and most of it's not worth anything, right? So like, I honestly, like, I'm in the mood of like, they lost some AI researchers. They weren't really taking this shit seriously anyway. Maybe they don't care. It's actually not completely unreasonable to not care.
What does that leave Apple with, though? I mean,
it's not clear that it's just not clear that it matters. Right?
I have thousands of dollars of Apple hardware around me right now. I'm not going to not have thousands of dollars Apple hardware on me anytime soon, right? There's no
and back to our conversation from last week. If you look at it in terms of sheer time spent using technology, we are all sitting at Apple hardware all day long. Everyone in the world is like the Mac operating system and the iOS operating system on time spent is so superior to any of these technologies that we've been talking about. It's not even close. We're talking hours superior, right? And so I think that's like the thing that they kind of have in their court is that they actually did create the superior product, right?
Well, I think on the margin, sure, there are questions on the margin. I think the Meta glasses are awesome. Does it mean I use my AirPods less? Yup. Does it mean that AirPods are going to be less relevant long term? Maybe. That's actually a pretty big business for them. They probably cared a little bit about that, right? But I don't know.
But it's not even close to the Mac or the iPhone. iOS and the Mac are just so superior.
But don't they sell a gajillion dollars worth of these AirPods every year? I mean, from a pure business perspective, they probably care, right? But
But is it the heart of the system? To the conversation last week, if Meta's attention engine is impacted by AI, that's one thing. Apple's winning no matter what. Everybody's talking to ChatGPT through their devices. It's just it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and if Sam Altman releases a lamp, it's not going to matter.
Why wouldn't Meta then just strategically start spending more to get in deeper into the hardware business?
They are. Really that's what the glasses is. That's what
I'm talking about actual devices.
I don't think they can.
Phones I think computers.
It's not what they do.
Well, I know it's not what they do now.
I think they would love to. I just think it's not a surmountable direct. I think yes, they can do I think the wristband they just talked about seems really cool. They'll do glasses.
Everyone I know that's demoed the wristband loves it, just thinks it's magic.
What does the wristband do?
I don't know. It's some sort of input device, but it sounds awesome.
Have you tried it, Sam?
No, but I've talked to people who've tried it.
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that have tried it, and it's super magic.
What is it, a microphone? You just talk to it, or what?
No, it's a wristband that sort of pays attention to micro movements in your wrist and then uses machine learning to guess what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to write letters, or you can control a cursor with it, you can do all kinds of things. Everyone I know that's tried it says it's the most interesting interface they've tried in many years. It's a human computer interface.
Okay.
In the phone, it does seem somewhat Apple has to have a take on where things are going with AI. But again, when you specifically talk about LLMs and kind of this I just I don't know. I kind of am in the mood where I'm yeah, they're pretty far behind / not doing it. And clearly Meta's made the decision to go all chips in on it. And that's a great athletic decision. And that might be good for them. They're clearly going to make a ton of money on it, as will Google. Apple isn't similarly positioned. Maybe they just don't care.
I mean, it does seem like the strategy choice they've made is to stay decentralized and to focus on small models on device, on the edge, rather than doing centralized large scale models. I think that's a reasonable strategy for what it's worth. And it might actually be the best strategy long term. It might not look like the right strategy for the next 5, maybe even 10 years. But 10 years from now, you could see them being in a completely different architectural place.
The only thing about that, Dave, though, is it's one of those things where in the end of the day, no one fucking has any idea, right? These
I know, but you have to make a choice.
But I think the thing
you have to make a long-term choice,
kind of. But I don't think. I mean, you could. You're a many $1 trillion company. You could actually just choose everything, right? I don't think that's
but that's not Apple. Apple makes one choice.
Well, I understand,
usually.
but I don't think it's a type of choice where you sit down and study really hard and have the answer for sure. Right? At all. I think this is one of those things where no one knows. There's too many variables to possibly compute. And so whoever's making the choice is making a choice on culture and fashion as much as data or certainty, right? And
totally
that's fine.
But the choices are risk either way is my point, right? Going and spending $1 billion for an AI researcher like Meta's doing it's a risk just the same.
Well, kind of. I think it's fairly costless, which is why it makes total sense for them to do. But I think it requires from a style perspective and aesthetics perspective, a leader who wants to spend their time doing that. Whereas I think
totally.
Tim Cook is just it's not you sit there and be the future is definitely small models in 10 years, and we're definitely right. It's more like, I just think stylistically, he's like, yeah, this is not what we do, and like, I think that's like fine. But it's like, totally made this point when we did a kind of a thing with him, I think 2 weeks ago, where he's like, why do leaders do things? It's like, because they want to, right? Like, that's why leaders do things. There's not like, it's like, why is the Solana phone something he cares about? It's like, because he wants to build a phone, right? Like, why does Tim Cook not want to spend billions of dollars in AI research? He probably just like aesthetically doesn't want to.
And you don't think that he's going to need to like buy something or build?
It's just like the life is so long.
I don't think
like,
anybody knows.
He might be picking up OpenAI on the cheap in 5 years. Like, it just like, it's unclear. His core business isn't threatened.
Wouldn't that be funny?
I don't think anyone knows. I think Sam's right.
His core business isn't threatened. Like, Google has to put chips down because like their core business is like too threatened. Meta has to put chips down, one, because Mark is just like hyper competitive and cares about this, and because like they have such an enormous opportunity to make so much money because of how they're positioned that they're crazy not to, right? So like everyone's kind of like,
and their business is threatened too, I would say.
I don't think their
like
business,
people are spending more time.
I don't buy that narrative.
Okay,
I don't
listen to this. You know that there's a company called Common Sense Media that does all these like surveys. Okay. 31% of teenagers now are saying that their conversations with AI companions are as satisfying or more satisfying than talking with real friends.
Teens are idiots.
33% had discussed serious and important issues with AI instead of real people. Half of teens are talking to their AI companion every day. Like, that's true. They're just spending their time differently.
True, teens are idiots, and like their tastes change super fast.
Teens drive technology culture.
I'm not impressed.
Like YouTube, TikTok, Meta.
Look,
teens
I
are
use
driving
this shit too.
The internet.
I actually spend a lot of money on AI at this point, using like mostly Gemini, but some ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT. I asked it like 3 things this morning. They're not super monetizable queries. It's not that important. It's fine. Like, I'm not like against these interfaces. I'm just saying it's like, I don't see that as like fundamentally threatening to Meta's business,
Well, you only have so much time in your day to spend.
Well, and that's what we talked about last episode, which I do agree with, right? Which is like, if the actual impact is vibe coding becomes really, really fun, and I'd rather vibe code than like post it on Instagram, like if vibe coding is just entertainment, that is a meaningful threat. I just don't believe that.
I'm talking about connection, not vibe coding. Like when I want to just like share my day and what I'm up to with my AI friends.
I don't think you're going to do that.
Gemini. What the teenagers are saying is that like they're always available and they know you better than most of your friends do.
I get it. I used to chat with Smarter Child on AIM. Just like, I'd be like, oh, I'm bored and Dave's not available.
Ooh, you invoked Smarter Child.
Smarter Child.
That's a deep cut.
Wait, I don't remember Smarter Child on AIM.
It was one of the. It was a bot. Yeah, it was
Smarter
a bot.
Child was like the original. Like it was awesome. By the way, my dad financed it, but like it was a great. Smarter Child crushed it back in the day, and it was basically.
How did Smarter Child make money?
It would tell you jokes. It would give you movie times. It was
maybe AI. I do remember Smarter Child.
Smarter Child was great.
Did we pay for Smarter Child? Was that part of our?
No, there were like ads because because bots have already had ad models in them, and like they did 20 years ago, right? Like nothing's new.
That's amazing.
Nothing's new under the sun.
Well, Anyway, my point is similar to what we talked about last week. I do think Meta's threatened. To your point, Sam, I also agree there's like huge business opportunity and upside, but Google and Meta seem the most threatened here. So they're the ones
Google
that are
definitely, in theory, is, although the fact that they're monetizing even better makes sense. I mean, like in some ways, the irony of ironies would be if OpenAI sucks up all the non-monetizable queries from Google and like lightens their load and takes on the cost of serving all the bullshit. And Google just becomes like an even better company.
Because they already have the ad systems, the monetization.
It's like they're actually secretly promoting OpenAI, being like, you should definitely use OpenAI to like ask about your bunion, right? Because that just like is melting our servers, and we don't want that query. But like, I would love it if AIs.
That's actually a really good idea, because it is true, right? That the cost structure of serving the AI results on every Google page is dramatically different than Google queries used to be. So you're right. The ultimate strategy would be to push everyone to
be like OpenAI. Like the Google search would be like, you really should ask OpenAI that one. You know what I mean? They're just like, it's like, I would love that. It's kind of the equivalent of humans. If like you go to your friend and they like want to talk about some bullshit or like their day, and you're like, Brit would love to hear this.
This is perfect. I mean, it's really not any different than what Apple's already doing, right? Where you ask Siri something and it doesn't know. So it's like, do you want to ask ChatGPT? It's like Google should just do this for all the most expensive queries.
Fucking funny. And like that really would be like, yeah. It's like come to me first. I'm gonna answer things I want to answer, but like I'm just gonna redirect you over there for all the bullshit, like and OpenAI is like the lonely friend over there being like, I'll answer anything. Oh, what do you want to talk about? What do you all day long? Someone wants to talk to me, and you're like, good. Enjoy that. Like, by the way, you want to buy a car? I'll tell you where to buy a car.
Poor Grok is over in the corner with nobody asking any questions.
I have no problem with Grok.
People like Grok.
I like it, but it's like I forget to use it. I do ask it when I know I want to know what's going on across all of Twitter.
When you want like a non-woke answer.
Wait, what do you ask it?
Again, I just think the future, honestly, is you have to model these things like a cast of characters, not a single person that is your confidant. And like, they're just a bunch of friends. There's going to be more of them. And like, Grok is your Republican friend. And like, ChatGPT is the person who always wants to talk bullshit with you. And Google's like the person who actually knows who to buy shit. Like, it's just like, that's going to be like, you're going to have like a character cast. And this is my argument I keep making about why it's not going to be this compounding thing where like, you only use one and it knows everything about you. You're just going to be like, you all know everything about me. It's all kind of fluid. And like, I have a cast of characters in my life.
Have you guys tried OpenAI's new agent mode yet? I did it for the first time this week. It's kind of weird. Like there's like an iframe window where it's showing you all the tasks it's doing and telling you exactly what task it's doing. I had it try to book a restaurant reservation at a spot in Italy because we're going there in a few months. That's really hard to get into. And it went through all of like the restaurant doesn't have a link to reserve it through. And so it went through Yelp. It went through every booking service. It's showing me the iframe of like going to all these websites, explaining to me exactly what it's doing. And it's doing it really quickly, like 1 second, 2 seconds for every part, like every research task it's doing. And then at some point it got blocked and I had to like move the puzzle piece and do the CAPTCHA, correctly. So like I was assisting the agent and I was just staring at the screen for like 5 minutes while my agent was trying to book me a restaurant reservation. Then it failed. At the end of the day, it failed.
Back to from before that, it'd be way better if instead of a CAPTCHA, it told you something wrong about Dave. And you're like, oh, of course I'll correct you.
In the middle of the booking process. Yeah. But it was like, you have to take over now. I cannot do this part. And I was like, you're my agent. Just fucking handle the restaurant reservation, bitch. But anyway, it didn't. And now I have to call a number and talk to a real human.
So actually, this is like the irony of like employees is like, just like a real assistant, what do they really do? They just made more work for you. Right? It's like this is
what I was thinking though?
A traditional
I want my actual assistant to watch what the agent does because I actually don't know that most assistants go through this streamline of thinking of like, there's no link to reserve it online. Maybe I'll try Yelp and see if anyone there has posted how to do it. Okay, maybe I'll try the Italian like restaurant booking agency, not Resi.
Britt, what you're describing is the classic failure mode of new technologies, which is you start out, you're a B2C company, which is I am your agent. And like agents like, fuck, you're just making more work for me. And they're like, no, we're a B2B2C company. We're just going to train the assistants.
We're training real human assistants. We'll show you the steps to go through and then you do it. And then actually just call the number. Like it'll probably work better that way.
And then like eventually
anyways.
Yeah, it'd be like, and Google's just going to be like, oh, you want a restaurant reservation there? It's like, go ask OpenAI. I'm not fucking doing this fast for you.
Yeah, Google's already scanned the whole internet and knows which restaurants actually have booking links and which ones have phone numbers. And so it redirects you to OpenAI if it's just a phone number. I like it. All right. Well, I also wanted to, I was remiss to say happy birthday to you, Sam. You turned 42 this week.
Great.
Is that right?
Now my identity is going to get stolen. Yeah, I'm 42.
Yeah. The answer to life, the universe, and everything. Is that correct?
Yeah, it doesn't feel any different than 40. I did do...
I saw you share that. And I wanted to ask you about like how how you've evolved since 40 and how are your 40s going versus your 30s? Because I'm in my last few months of my 30s and I need to start preparing.
You're fine. It is like we kind of like, I feel like the 40s are, you're like the greyhound doggy that like catches the bunny, and then you're like, well, now what the fuck am I supposed to do? And like that's cool, like, it's fine. But that's the
You're supposed
40s.
to have fun, Sam. You're supposed to only work on projects. This is my whole thing lately. It's like I only want to invest in things that I just like really truly love. Where I'm just like I'm like very passionate about this. I like get off on this. Like that's the only thing you should be doing.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Arnold scene in the classic movie Pumping Iron, where he just talks about he's just like coming all day long. You know?
Okay, this is getting so. This was not where I thought we were going with me asking you about your outlook on your 40s.
Have you guys seen Pumping Iron by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No.
Oh my God.
How many Arnold Schwarzenegger movies have you watched? I feel like you've brought up Arnold Schwarzenegger a lot over the course of 2 years of this pod.
He's great, but honestly, Pumping Iron is like a deeply important movie. You should absolutely watch it.
Have you watched the Arnold documentary? I also heard that was good.
Isn't that the documentary?
No, Pumping Iron, I think, is his movie, he's saying. Or is that a
Pumping
documentary?
Iron is like a very old movie about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah.
But it's a documentary.
Yeah.
There's a separate documentary later in life about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm very pro Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, so your 40s is you don't care as long as you're having fun.
No, I don't think that's quite fair. I mean, but I just like, we just gone through this. We talked about, I put some Twitter, joy. We need to find like joy and fun in this world again, right? Not just like arguing about bad, annoying businesses. Like, it's just like when someone like pitches you a business, they're like, do you actually find joy in that? That sounds awful. And if they're like, no, it's really joyful. You're like, great. Okay.
So
I like it.
So yeah,
I think
like
this is very good. More investors need to think this way.
Especially as AI starts taking over venture capital a little bit and like trying to tell you what to invest in. And you're like, but why? Like, I don't actually care.
I always loved when I worked at Apple, Steve always used to say that if you're not the most passionate person in the world working on the thing you're working on, then somebody else will be and they'll beat you at it. And I just like love that. I
think that's right. I think for me, I was just talking about like the reason I'm so obsessed with the joy thing isn't just because it's more fun. I just think it's the only way to be really successful. Like, I just don't think you can be successful at things. You can do fine. You can make okay things, but like you can't make great things. And the problem is that people know this and then they try to like come up with these things and like reverse engineer it. It's not authentic.
Or they let other people's voices dominate their minds.
And this is also why, like, I mean, I haven't shat on YC in a while, so like it's probably time for that again. But like, it's like the idea that you go to like some thing and like you customer chat your way by talking to like business people into like the thing you want to build. You're like, it just can't be that good.
No.
Right? It just can't be, because it's just company slop. It's like slop. And like, it's not all wrong. It can sound nice on paper, but when you like wake up and you're like, what the fuck am I working on? Right? Like, this is awful. Right? And like, I think we just need to like get founders like comfortable with avoiding the slop.
We saw this thing actually when I was on the board of the US ski team, where there were two kinds of athletes. There were the athletes that when they got to the gold medal podium, realized that they didn't like the journey and that it didn't give them the outcome that they thought they were going to get to the podium and that it was going to, I don't know, like the heavens were going to open up and everything was going to be different. And then they would end up very depressed for many years afterwards. The athletes that just loved they loved being in the gym. They just like loved doing it the entire time. They were the ones that were fine, right? Winning the medal was just another day.
Here's another pop culture corner for you. Did you see that the number one golfer in the world speech on this? He gives this whole speech. Oh. It's great. We should put it in the show notes. Jess sent it to me, which is like, he's like, someone's like, what happens when you win? Another thing, he's like, it doesn't matter. Like, this is like, it's like 2 minutes of joy. Like, this is not important. Like, I'm happy to do it. It's fun. But like, and it's like, I think that like, I don't know. I'm like into you should do it. But yeah, he's like, look at Carlos Alcaraz. That guy clearly just like loves playing tennis, right? Like, he's just so joyful. And like, you're going to win long-term more because you love it, right? And that doesn't mean you can't be Michael Jordan and come up with fake ways someone slighted you for the slight competitive edge in the moment. But like, you got to just fucking love what you're doing. And like, I think that's probably, I don't know, the big lesson of the summer.
Same for musicians and actors, I would say too. I mean, you see it at award shows. Taylor Swift, she wins like 12 awards or something. And it's just like, cool. Like, of course, thank you. But she just doesn't stop. She could stop. Like all of these people could stop, be done, be set the rest of their life, and they can't help themselves. And so I like what you're saying. I think it's really relevant for founders and for investors, and especially in these bubble periods where everyone gets a little bit disoriented of like, what are we all chasing
and
here?
they all just like start making stupid things. So you're just like, I just don't understand why you can possibly care.
Yeah, and I think that's what ends up happening is you see the founder that chooses to work on something that they're not passionate about spends a decade doing something that they hate. And at the end, if you make it, which you're very unlikely to make it, but if you do make it, you end up with a lot of money and like deeply depressed, right? And so I think it's the case for focusing on something you're incredibly passionate about because you want to enjoy the journey.
And something you like the day-to-day you love, right? Whether it's competitive or, I mean, like, again, like I go back to like the Barry Diller book where like, I just think it's so funny that his like descriptions of like Rupert Murdoch, just like loving the chase. You know what I mean? He's like clearly like, you know, the guy's in like over his eyeballs in debt and the whole 9 yards. But he's like just having fun, right? Like, and I do think, you know, you just need to match the personality, not just to like, there's a story I think Silicon Valley likes to tell of like, well, this sucks, but it's the most important thing in the history of the world, right? And so you're like, I don't actually enjoy doing this, but like, it's so important, and this is the only moment for it. And that's like this trick, this thing that people like to like buckle down and do shitty things because it's so important. And then there's like we'll do it because you make so much money, and so like I hate it, but and like I'm just like, I think that you should want those things, that you should want it to be important. You should want it to like be financially very successful because there is like a game to that. But like, you know, I think founders just need to like make stuff they like.
Make things for you, not for other people.
All right. I feel like we should end it on that note. This is like, how's like our philosophical, life wisdom conversation. Although I want to point out RIP Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne before we leave. Just as we're talking about Arnold Schwarzenegger, I think they all fit in the same bucket of
Did they die?
Yeah,
yes.
Both of Hulk Hogan died today.
In their 70s. They were both in their early mid 70s. Hulk Hogan died today and Ozzy died earlier this week.
But my understanding was that Ozzy was sort of a known thing. Like he was going out on, and he suffered from Parkinson's for a really long time. But he performed a concert like last week.
Doing what he loved, just continuing to do what he loved, even as he's going out. Do you like how I tied that together?
What a legend.
I just remember watching the Osbourne show back in the 90s. And I was like, who are these people?
What a random reality show that went viral. And in the long arc of history, actually seems kind of normal.
I think that was the predecessor to the Kardashians show.
And
like,
The
I feel like
Apprentice and all these things.
No, but like the family, that's all kind of crazy.
Oh, you have one more, in terms of the Kardashians, I have one last pop culture corner as we sign off.
Oh my God, look at you today, Sam.
Which this was hilarious.
Love it.
We were in New York, and you know, in San Francisco, we're used to seeing people like doing heroin on the streets and needles. You know what they're doing on the streets in New York, just out in the open? Monjaro. There's just like Monjaro. People just like doing Monjaro shots like on the street. There's like
a cafe for it now.
Around. It's like wild. It's like New York. It's like they don't do heroin. They do Monjaro.
If I were homeless, I would totally do Monjaro. So because I don't have that much money for food.
Oh, that's brutal, Brit. That's brutal.
It's not brutal. It's just
savage.
Real. If I found a needle of Monjaro, I'd be like, well, good, because I only have $5 a day.
Brit Morin.
Why is that savage?
That is savage.
I think it's strategic, first of all. Not savage.
It's like I was watching last night the Charlie Chaplin movie Modern Times with our kids about the Depression, which is quite, our oldest understood that it was sad. It's a great movie. And it's like that is going to be like the modern times. It's like Brit's version of the world where people homeless people can't afford food, so they do Monjaro.
It's like the Wall-E vision of people, like the huge fat people floating around drinking the milkshake is actually
they'll be skinny.
It's the opposite vision.
Yeah, they're
managing
skinny.
their weight with Monjaro.
Yeah,
because they can't get. Oh God,
that's pretty Brit. Brit, I can't believe you're the most.
I can't believe you guys think. What? Okay, listeners, please chime in. I don't think that's that savage. I think, especially compared to all the shit Sam says, how am I the most savage person?
You are.
All right.
Bye.
Well, you know what? When Jess isn't here, someone's got to step up to lead. So, Jess, we hope we've done you proud wherever you are, and she will be back next week. I'm going to take this moment to wrap it on my savage note as I end my 30s, my year of my 30s soon, and we'll see what the 40s has to come for me. I think I'm ramping up nicely here, according to Dave and Sam's feedback.
You're in your 40s.
Special thanks to all of our listeners.
You're going to end up with neck tattoos like that AI image that Reid Hoffman made of you.
I liked the sleeves.
Neck tattoos?
Yeah, he sent her a photo with like neck tattoos and like sleeves and, the whole thing.
I mean, cool. I have no problem with that stuff. It's just like, I'm just always impressed that people are like that deeply opinionated. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like pretty cool, actually. Like, have great tattoos.
Totally.
I just would never have one because, like, how could I possibly care that much?
Yeah, I wouldn't know what to get
or withstand the pain. Yeah,
the pain seems fun. It's just like you like how are you committed to that goal for the rest of your life?
With that, I'm going to wrap us officially now. Thanks to everyone listening, everyone in our back channel. Thanks for staying in for the episode today with one down on the left side. Thanks, Sam, for bringing it to cover off for your wife. And we will see all of you back here next week for another episode of More or Less.
Well, we can continue with brutality.
Savage Brit.
Stay tuned. Savage Brit will be back.
Savage Brit might be the right podcast title for this.
Oh, God.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
Wow. If you enjoyed this show, please leave us a virtual high five by rating it and reviewing it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. Find more information about each episode in the show notes and follow us on social media by searching for @MoreOrLess, @Dave Morin, @Lessin, @JLessin, and as for me, I'm @Brit. See you guys next time.